Hello friends, Winston here. Welcome to my virtual Aloe Garden Walk. Yes, just tag along with me and I'll show you some of my favorite aloe species. You're looking at Aloe striata, and that's about a good place to start. Middle size, which means that you don't have to have a huge garden to plant it. You can grow it in a pot if you don't have the space in the garden, or let's put it bluntly, if you don't have the right kind of weather. We'll look at some familiar ones. We'll also look at some that you probably haven't seen before. But generally speaking, we will try to give you an interesting view. This yellow flowered plant you know or should know. Aloe vera. Some people say they rarely see the flower. I always look out for the flower. The seeds are probably far more difficult to come by. In fact, only once I've seen some that try to seed, but not very successfully. On the other side, coming up now, are some interesting plants. Look at the size of these aloes, and wearing what I usually call their petticoats, that is, the dried stem, which cover the bottom side of the aloe. They look somewhat like Trasky, or maybe rupestris, I'm not sure here, but I like the way they stand up. Tall and proud, almost like the witches in Macbeth. Yes, that's a strange analogy, but that is what it reminds me of. These plants are much more difficult to grow if they are that side. That is, again, you come back to the question of weather. You must have an environment where you can withstand, reasonable warm weather for a length of time, which allow these what I call tree size aloes to grow very successfully. Marlothii, yes. Small size for these plants to bloom. Usually, sometimes you have to wait a good many years before marlothii gets the flower buds out and you can enjoy the bloom. But very beautiful. The chandelier effect of marlothii is something I like very much. This one is much taller. In fact, I had to arch my camera way up in the skies to get a good example. But again, the chandelier effect and a very successful plant, bit of the petticoat, as you can see, lots of dried stem to prove that it has been growing a long time. This is something you know. Plicatilis, let's call it the old name. As you know, there's a new grouping for all these plants. Aloe plicatilis I like very much. I like the flowers as well. Have a look. Also, they grow very easily from seeds. I've tried them successfully and they are worth the effort. Coming up, vanbalenii. Very nice. And the flowers in the background. Probably I'll show you some of the flowers later. Vanbalenii doesn't grow too tall, I think under 2 foot, and you will get the blooms. Ah, Camarooni. Camarooni, that very distinct, color-coded. It can be green like most aloes, but it can be this beautiful reddish brown, which I love to see. Getting it in place with the right kind of weather, somewhat scorching sun, and you get a beautiful reddish brown color, which I like to see. These are the flowers of Rambellini. Very yellow, very nice, and tells us it's very much worth growing. Again, these plants are here in the ground, but can be grown in the pot, because the vanbalenii I have are actually grown in a pot, since I cannot trust my weather with putting them in the ground. What are these? Aloe camperi. Camperi. A nice small size aloe, which allows you, again, to grow very easily these plants. Alternatively, you can also grow them in the pot. Elgonica, another colorful green leaf sometimes, brown leaf sometimes, or a little mixture, as you can see there. Elgonica, again, a plant which can be grown very successfully either way. And I love this plant. I love it even without the blooms. It is very interesting and also worth growing. Suzanne. Look at that. Aloe Susan. I should remind you at this point that all aloes are very easily grown from seeds. If you're lucky enough to have plants with suckers, or pups as we say, they can also help you to produce younger plants. Okay? Seeds or pups. You're looking at Aloe aculeata, another of my favorites. Never grows beyond 2 foot, and the flowers are there when you're ready. I hope you enjoyed this tour, this virtual walk. And the last one on the list is the old bainesii barbara. Let's stick to the old names for the time being. And generally speaking, if there is any question about the tour, let me know. Send us an email. Winston in London for this overview of my Aloe Garden Walk. Thank you.